We'll call to order the Gladstone City Commission regular meeting of November 10th, 2025. Invitation by Commissioner Mantua.
Lord, thank you for allowing us to come together in this great city of Gladstone, wonderful state of Michigan, and the blessed country of the United States. As we take care of the business before us tonight, let us keep in mind that we make decisions that are fair to all concerned and benefit all citizens. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Mayor Joe Thompson,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Brad Mantala,
Here.
Commissioner Robert Pontius,
Here.
Commissioner Steve O'Driscoll is excused, and Commissioner Judy Akala.
Here.
First up, we have swearing in.
I only got 15 minutes. Good evening.
Nothing, doesn't like
I
it.
just won't talk, all right?
Yeah.
No, good evening. It's an honor to be here tonight to announce that Brittany LeVake has joined Gladstone Public Safety as our newest public safety officer. She's seated right behind us. Brittany has several years of police and fire experience. She did some time with Escanaba Public Safety and most recently with Northern Michigan University Police Department. We're confident that Brittany's skills, her professionalism, and her dedication are going to be a huge asset to our department. So we're here tonight to do her oath of office, to get her officially up and running, even though last night was her first night.
Oh, boy.
We'll do her oath tonight and go from there. So please welcome Brittany to our family here. I believe Eric's going to do the oath for us.
Yay!
Next, we have public comment. If anybody would like to speak, they can step up to the podium and let us know who you are and where you're from. No takers. All right, moving right on to the consent agenda. The City Commission work session, fiscal year 2024-2025 audit presentation, City Commission regular meeting minutes of October 27th, payment of bills, Chemtrade Chemicals invoice for wastewater, Hawkins Incorporated invoice, Northern Nursery invoices, and the Pram Shack building materials.
Just a note on the trees, that's our annual, we plant our trees in the fall after the first frost and at or about the time of the first frost. So, and that's 45 new trees this year. So that's a good bump in and replacing the black ash trees that died from the emerald borer. And the Pram Shack building materials, that actually came in under budget. We had used It's about $2,000, $2,500 under budget, and again, and all the funds for this were donated from people throughout town, and the Lions Club and the Kiwanis Club, and so this was all the Yacht Club and the Escanaba Yacht Club. This was all donated funds. So, and if you get a chance, go down and take a look at the building. It's beautiful.
beautiful. Nice.
It is beautiful. I was impressed with the 12-page summary of from Iverson's.
Yeah.
Talk about detail.
Yeah.
Make a motion to accept the consent agenda as presented.
I'll
Support.
support. Oh,
Have a
you can, okay, I'll take
motion by
it.
Commissioner Mantlis, support by Commissioner Pontius.
We'll do it that way.
Approve the consent agenda. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion is carried. Next up, under new business, we have legal services agreement for USDARD funding.
Yes, this is just one more step in getting closer to having the USDA project for the intake and second transmission main be able to go to bid. As part of the process of applying for the USDA funds, a draft legal services agreement showing the hourly rate and not to exceed price for legal services needed to be included in the preliminary engineering report portion of the application. At the time of the application, the agreement did not have to be signed. It just needed to be in there showing how much that it was going to cost. But now that we have the obligation of funds, we have to have a signed agreement. In March of 2025, Miller Canfield recommended Curcio Law Firm for providing legal services necessary to the organization, financing, construction, and initial operation of the water treatment plant improvements. As per the legal services agreement, we will pay the attorney for professional services at an hourly rate of $220 plus expenses, not to exceed $15,000.
Yeah, this was sort of a surprise. Never, this is our first rural development USDA loan. I thought because Miller Canfield was a bond counsel that they just took care of this, but this is the dirty work if something goes wrong during the bidding or
okay.
some, they're not allowed to do both, so they gave us a recommendation of a firm that usually piggybacks with them, a smaller firm, and so.
I can say I'd never heard of Nuka, Michigan,
Neither.
N-U-I-C-A.
No. And yeah, it's a requirement when we sent in the information for the application that we had to identify a firm that we were in negotiations to handle this part of the loan. So,
And this is a requirement of this grant program, of the
Yeah.
Rural Development Grant Program?
Yep.
That you have this legal services?
yeah,
Okay.
and hopefully we won't need.
Yeah,
Yeah,
15,000.
I make a motion to sign the legal service agreement, so it's Curcio Law Firm, PLC, not to exceed $15,000.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Aqua, support by Commissioner Pontius to approve the legal services agreement. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion is carried. Next up, we have the property exemption guidelines and application.
Good evening. So we have two things tonight. First is the property exemption policy and the application. Property exemption, not to be confused with poverty exemption, which is next. This property exemption application is generally used for things such as school, churches, libraries, charitable groups. This isn't something that's used very often, and I don't think I've actually had a new one of those since I became the assessor here. So it's something that's required with the PA 660. The audit that's coming, assessing audit that's coming next year. It's pretty thorough since when you talk about exemption laws, usually the confusion is with the use of the land, as we kind of discussed that, a few meetings ago. Just because an entity owns a land doesn't necessarily mean that it's automatically exempt. So it's important to go through this process and to gather information to know what are they using, the land or the buildings for, and if there's any leases or anything like that. There's also, in this application policy, the two exemptions that I get yearly, almost monthly actually, are the poverty exemption and the veterans exemption, which actually has a completely different way of applying for those. And they both go, one goes through the board review, one goes through me as well, but they have a different way of applying. And those are included in this policy just so people know, since they're so common, that there's a different route for those. It's more of a FYI type of thing, addition to be in there. And then there's also 501c3s. I do get that question a lot, and just because something is a 501c3 doesn't necessarily mean they're exempt from property taxes. So it's important to collect a lot of information on these entities. This application form actually was a lot bigger, and I kind of narrowed it down a little bit. As you go through the process, you can always ask more follow-up questions. So tonight, just need an approval of the policy and form for property exemptions.
Questions or comments? I'll make a motion that we approve the property exemption guidelines and application.
I'll second.
I have a motion by myself, support by Commissioner Pontius. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion is carried.
I just
Thank
had
you.
one quick question. Are these forms available online also then?
They will be, yep.
Okay.
So next up, we have the amended poverty exemption guidelines and application.
Right, so this has once before gone before you, and since it's been before you, the laws have actually changed a little bit, and the State Tax Commission has refined the requirements for the poverty exemption. One of the major things, and this is actually something that we and you as a commission has a say over, is that asset cap, which is on page 2, which is $9,500. That can really be set anywhere, and we had kind of a work session with the Board of Review. I sought out other places and seen where their cap was, and that they're kind of around that, and then the Board of Review suggestions were right in this ballpark as well. So that's where that comes from, but that's also something that you can, as a commission, can dictate where you want that cap at. You cannot include the principal residence in that asset. Whatever they have, and then their personal effects, clothing, stuff like that, you can't include as an asset in that calculation. So really it's anything beyond that they might have. The other thing is there's the vehicle exclusion, which they can have one car, and that's not include the value of that car per license or income earning person in the household. That value of that car is not included in that $9,500 either. Before, one of the things that was in the previous poverty exemption guidelines was a lot of you can't own this, or you can only have one of this and one of this. We actually can't tell them what they can and cannot own. So that's one of the things they really narrowed down on with these exemption guidelines. The other thing is, and this was something that the Board of Review brought up, they really wanted to make sure that we were verifying everything we possibly could. So they wanted, if you file income taxes, they want to be able to see a copy of those income taxes. If somebody is not required to file income taxes, they're able to sign this accompanying form that the state put together, 4988, which is an affidavit saying that you're not required to file income taxes. So they do have that kind of insurance to verify what is going on and what they're earning and assets and stuff. Another thing to keep in mind, Board of Reviews, these applications get approved by the Board of Review. The July and December Board Review kind of functions a little different than the March Board Review, where the March Board Review, you have people that come in and they appeal their valuations, or they have poverty exemptions, and a lot of stuff can happen at the March Board Review. December, July run a little bit differently. So these are actually due the day before December Board Review. And that is basically so I can look at them and I can say you're missing information, because once it goes to December board review, if it gets denied for some reason, that's it. So the day before, so I can at least say we need more. I know they're going to want more info or something like that. It's it gets missed every once in a while. People aren't aware of that fact. The other thing is that the commission really has a say in is the income. We cannot go below the federal income guidelines, but we can always set it above the federal income guidelines. So that's always something that you can consider too. For this, and this is the way it's been for quite a while, it's set right at those federal guidelines. Also, it is another step in the PA 660 audit, and with this guidelines, we're wrapping up all the housekeeping with all of you that I need to prepare for this.
Do you feel these new guidelines are making it easier for the Board of Review and yourself, or is it more cumbersome?
I think it will be easier. Yeah,
Okay.
I do. I think it'll be more cut and dry. And when we're talking about before, we always had this discussion of what if somebody had extra equipment and stuff for their business? How do we include all of that? You know, how do we verify all of that? It was really, you know, hard to dig into it and know where to draw the line. And so this kind of sums that up.
Good. I make a motion to approve the poverty exemption guidelines as submitted.
Support.
We have a motion by Commissioner Akla, support by Commissioner Mantala to approve the poverty guidelines. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion is carried.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up, we have proposed special event, Saunders Point Brewing LLC, Youth Empowering Services, Ugly Christmas Party.
I just want to know why it's called Ugly Christmas.
Is it ugly sweater?
No, but I just was curious where the name came up at. Okay. Oh. I guess it was before my time, or after my time, I guess.
So Jake Mills, owner of Saunders Point Brewing, right, I'm down here again today because another charitable foundation wants to do a fundraiser. As you guys know, I made it at Saunders Point Brewing, and we do host a lot of events down there. Every once I do, I make sure I get, have inside that facility. My number one goal is to keep that place open to the public, so when I have these special events like this, with the, the calling services, I do, I feel I have 150 people, and that would take up, I hope, I can't shut down the phone. How do I go with that? So I put in a request to have the angle parking that's on the east side of the river there to just be shut down that day. Maybe have a couple burn barrels. So if there's overflow, people go aside too. Got feedback that, burn barrels could be a liability. Going old fashioned Christmas, you guys have them up down the street and high schoolers run them. Statement. My plan had been volunteer firefighters do this. So I don't see any issue there. The other one was, I was told that I have that outdoor seating available if you guys granted me. I don't know if you guys see what was done down there.
Yes.
Yes. It's, to me, it's wonderful, right? You guys had a perfect spot there, invited their people for outdoor seating, which was the perfect thing for that. Now you put these screens out there, which I'm not saying are a nice thing, but you take up at least half the area there. So of my 6 tables, I might just squeeze 3 of them back in there. Dairy Flow, which had 2 picnic tables there for decades, have their customers there, they can't cook that. I mean, you have to follow ADA compliance in there. So really, for me to just have that area for this party, it's not good. I wish somebody would have came and approached me about what they're gonna do out there, just like, be ready for it. I don't know if maybe talk to, Dairy Flow about what they did out there. I know they weren't happy when they talked to me about it. Take away potential customers and seating, right? But you're actually hurting businesses instead of helping them.
I had a question, excuse me, about the burning barrels. Would you be able to contact your insurance company to see if that's, you know, because it'll be on your property, whether you're covered for that?
with that, right? I submitted my insurance paperwork, what it's called for, special.
Okay.
So it, just for clarification, it would be in the city property, the city right-of-way,
Oh.
right there. And just one thing that we've learned with the burning barrels from Old Fashioned Christmas is if they're not raised up, they could damage the concrete or whichever surface they're on, just with the heat that generates from them. And Jake, I wasn't clear. When I read this again just a few minutes ago, were you asking for the burning barrels to borrow them from the DDA?
That was the idea.
Okay.
That's what Tiffany asked for, right? Once again, I'm just the voice of somebody else. So
Yep.
I'm just going through the motions here. So yeah, I'm not out looking for these events. I don't charge them fees, right? This is a fundraiser, so I let these occur. It helps to have a fundraiser.
I know when we talk to our insurance carrier, they are all for closing the road. They do not like when we have to close half the road because you're creating a trouble spot. So it'd be so much easier if the road was this close.
Yeah, and that road, that's a concern with their, right? That's what their
Yeah.
traffic flow. And I'm not asking for any road closures, I'm just asking for parking spots. And if you went down there and looked at it, it's easiest to be because the way you guys have that shape there, you just have to block out those parking spots, you got two ways of traffic.
Mm-hmm.
Really trying.
So some of the liability things that I was looking at it through were like, for example, if it snows that day, where the snow removal will go, things like that. If we barricade off the parking space, but there's still that liability that traffic is flowing through there and people are standing essentially out in the street at that point too. And so that was the liability I was looking at for those. And then I do know the DDA is trying to get out of the business of rentals or renting out our equipment. And so that's just one thing that gives me hesitation and pause as well, just as we consider this conversation further. I understand it's a dynamic conversation, so.
There can be, I mean, if we close off the parking spots, you can still move the barricade 5 feet from the parking spots. Because that's what's happening on cable up there, those plans are actually pushed with rain on the edge of the road. Where that is happening.
Do you have any concerns from the police department area? No?
Is, Patricia, the concern about blocking off, the option of blocking off the entire street, is that just in consideration of the other business? Or I know we've blocked off streets before for other
I was
events.
thinking about it as an event in December, and we don't know what the snow is going to look like at that point, what snow removal will look like along that street.
This is our 4th set event like this, and the feedback after the first one is that other businesses did not like closing up the whole thing.
Okay.
So that, I understand very close then, but there's still a business in this house.
Okay. And what with the ADA compliance, is there any other parking on that street that they could just be like down further? I can't picture right now in my mind where that is.
I can't
the
tell you
ADA
exactly where. Oh, I can't tell you exactly where the next ADA stall would be for compliance purposes. I can tell you that the way that the code is written right now and the way that the Rialto Center operates, that with the number of businesses in there, that space would require, if you were strict to the code, at least 70 parking spots. That's off-street parking. Now, the code allows some flexibility because we don't want to deter businesses from coming to our downtown. So the zoning administrator has opportunity there, but we're already pretty short in parking stalls and what the code would ask for, and I don't want to make that problem worse unnecessarily. And so that's just the perspective that I'm coming at it from.
Yeah, the ADA compliance because of the parking spots is you have to have, is it 48 inches on the sidewalks? So that's what I'm saying with the seating and the trees, you still have to keep the area although not mandatory, but it would probably be the safest way to go. I mean, how many parking spots are you going to shut it down in that short little section of roadway there? Just something, because then you don't have the traffic over there.
Does that seem like a feasible alternative?
If that's what you guys will do, I mean, I don't, like I said, I'm trying not to disrupt anything.
Right.
No,
Yeah.
I mean, we're looking at it from a safety issue.
And it all depends, maybe they don't get 150 people a lot. But
That's how many they're looking at.
that's what Tiffany was hoping for.
Patricia, in the DDA policies right now, is there anything that you mentioned trying to get out of the rental of equipment things? Is that been adopted by the DDA, or is that being
No,
just talked about at this point?
We don't have anything in our fee schedule right now, and truth be told, this is, aside from business after hours, this is the first year where it's really come up, where people are looking to borrow our canopies, borrow our tables, borrow our chairs. And the reality of it is we don't have the resources or staff to manage an inventory like that. And there's also businesses in place that, you know, operate, and that is their sole purpose. And sometimes people look at it as, you know, well, that's the inventory of the downtown businesses because they pay for it. But the reality is, especially when it comes to the downtown farmers market, those items are paid for with the vendor fees for the farmers market that pays itself. So that's how we usually cover those costs, and it's something that I would like to kind of hone in on over the next few months so that we know going into the next event season how we want to approach that. But yeah, nothing currently in the policy, just provides some, we're shorthanded with resources is really what it comes down to.
Well, if we don't have any policy right now, it seems
That's my
like it's an
question.
open
Right.
decision, and perhaps having someone just put a deposit down for any damage that, you know, and if it's no damage, then give them back their deposit might be something that's workable.
And then just one other thing to consider is if we do lend out the burning barrels, it does take up staff time. And right now we utilize Parks and Rec for that. So I don't know who from staff time would cover the cost of that, because oftentimes you would charge the DDA for that. So there is that component of it too, that there requires staff setup and tear down time. It's probably going to be an hour to get the burning barrels there, an hour for cleanup and putting them back. Things to consider.
I'm looking for an answer from Parks and Rec then.
Is that,
Here's the buck, it's being passed to you.
We'd be willing to put them out there.
Okay, thank you. That helps.
I mean, seeing that we don't have a policy right now, and that's in the works, and the Parks and Rec is, you know, they're willing to gather some staff to do that, and the recommendation from our public safety director, and I'm leaning towards just blocking the whole road. I know you're concerned about the other businesses, but looking at it from a safety point, you know, and if this brings 150 people down there, I think some of those other businesses might benefit also. Just, yeah. So I'd make a recommendation to grant the special event permit application with the blocking of the road from the alley to 10th, or from Delta 10th, Delta to the alley on 10th, and allowing the, how many burning barrels are you looking into? A couple for the DDA to, and do you have people lined up for that? And kind of make sure it doesn't damage any of the stuff. So, okay. So
I was going to say just raise them up, put them on some bricks or something like that.
You'll tie
not
walls.
to block the 10th from Delta to the alley and allow 2 burn barrels set up and by the Parks and Rec. in the proper manner.
Support for that.
A motion by Commissioner Mantle, support by Commissioner Akala. Any other comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
No.
Opposed? You're opposed?
Opposed.
Did you capture that, Tricia? So the motion passes. Thanks, Jake. Next up, we have our interim city manager subcommittee recommendation. So our city manager subcommittee was comprised of Commissioner Ackel and myself, and we had a posting done internally for a city manager interim candidate. We had 2 applicants. We interviewed the 2 applicants, and we chose one of them to be our interim city manager. Want to add something, Judy? Anything to add?
No, I thought both candidates did very well, and I was pleased to see them both coming forward to be interested in it, and I think you'll do a fine job, and looking forward to it.
It was a tough decision, because
Yeah.
both candidates were great. So what we're looking for is we're making a recommendation that that the subcommittee set a meeting to begin negotiations with Rob for the interim city manager contract.
Would the length of the interim part be part of the negotiations, or I know we talked about 3 months, 6 months, what did
We
you?
had posted it as a 6-month.
6 month, okay. And then evaluation at that time?
But that is changeable, even though it's advertised as 6 months. It could be more, potentially, right?
Sure,
Yeah.
depending
Yeah.
on the evaluation, or
Yeah.
if it's shorter, for whatever reason.
Right.
it'd be that way also.
Mhm.
But it's posted as a 6-month.
I would think anything that's mutually agreeable would be.
Right. But you went into it with that 6-month window?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'd make a motion to have the subcommittee, set a meeting to begin negotiations with Rob Spreitzer for an interim city manager contract.
All support. Any other comments? So we have a motion by Commissioner Mantle, supported by myself, to get the subcommittee back together and negotiate. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion is carried. Next up, we have appoint subcommittee for assessor position. Lots of subcommittees.
Yeah.
So, let's see. So we need a motion for a subcommittee for the assessor position, looking for a couple of people, 2 people.
2 people. Well, with just my thought on this, I know we talked about getting this on the agenda for this meeting, with one commissioner excused and a new commissioner coming in.
And one lame duck. Yeah.
Well, no, but
Quack, quack.
I don't know. Do we want? I don't want it to drag this out.
No,
But
but that entered my mind today too. We have a new commissioner coming on, and that might be a good opportunity for that person to be part and parcel of that.
that was just my thought on
Yeah.
that. I mean, I'm glad we have it on the agenda, and I know we can table it to the next meeting, that's when
You
the new
okay with that?
commissioner would be seated. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Kim's not here, but I think that's
We don't
Correct.
know
Well-
when the commissioner
or
will.
when
It may
they
be
certify
December
the
8th, yeah.
Pending the
pending the
Yeah.
state
certification.
legislature.
Right.
Yeah.
So it may be
I mean,
December 8th.
We could put this on the next one. We just keep moving it until we get a full new commission.
Yeah, I mean,
Whatever
Yeah,
that
that's
date is.
probably the best thing to do for the next meeting, and then,
Since we
Yeah.
don't know what the date is, we can just move it from one meeting to the
I
next.
guess so. So I'd make a motion to table this to the next meeting.
support that.
We have a motion by Commissioner Mantelis, support by Commissioner Akala to table this till the next meeting. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Thanks, everybody. City managers report?
See, the election went off really well at both precincts. No problems. Was sort of a long day. A lot of absentee ballots now, but went well. We didn't have any problems. We're going to have a survey crew will be in town next week, and they'll be surveying parts of Braves Avenue behind the high school, and so we can put. I have to talk to them again because there's different rules on subdivisions on how many divisions you can do prior to actually getting an approved subdivision, but we're under the understanding that we can sell 8 lots prior. It used to be 3, but now they have changed it. There's caveats on
Because it has to be size-wise,
yeah,
things of that sort.
how big they're going to be and whatnot. And so we'd like to get 8 of them laid down, the first 8 coming from the school, and because we've had quite a bit of interest in contractors that want to build some homes. Let's see. The Pram Shack is done. I think we talked about that earlier. It looks wonderful. I'd like to thank Troy, who runs the program. He was down there every day for the last month and a half plus working on it. He did majority of the fundraising, and they also did some pretty neat things like the siding from the old ski hill. They planed that, and that's what the interior walls are. And so there was a lot of recycling. I know the windows in the front, they look pretty fancy for a sailboat shack, but they came off the house that was remodeling on Lakeshore Drive.
Oh,
So
That'll work.
Yeah, it's all quality stuff, and it's built to last. But they did a really good job. And with bringing that up, I'd like to thank Dwayne Livermore too, with his work on the native statues and the roof, and he put a lot of time this summer down there working, and the rec department was there helping him, and Dwayne also had a couple of volunteers working with him, and it's really nice. So one of the nice things down there that people might not know, that they also put a swinging bench in down there, so you can sit there on the nice warm metal bench and watch the sunrise now. So just a reminder from Public Works, because we've had neighbor civil wars about this in the last couple days. Don't rake your leaves into the street. They got heated a couple times over the weekend, and so just we haven't done that in years, and it creates a problem in the storm sewers, and it's rake up your leaves and haul them up to the compost site.
You may see me from time to time using my foot to clear out where the storm sewers are. because
Yeah.
It filled up with all the leaves.
I think every block has their adopted
Yeah,
storm sewer
cleaner.
person. So, I was hacked last Thursday. I don't know if anyone got any emails from me, but the strangest group of people, and a lot of people I don't know. It had something to do with Vicki Mishaw and I had some communications in the last couple weeks, and somehow our 2 emails were sent out, and everybody, it was a select list of people we know that got these. So my email Mark just got my email back today at 2:30, so I'm 4 days behind in emails, and a lot of them is apologies and don't open my email, and plus phone calls.
Wow.
And so I'm going to be off a few days for deer season. Also, I'll probably be at home more than I will be hunting. My wife has got a surgery, and so I'll be running a mass unit out of our house. So that's where I'll be. I want to say congratulations to Rob. I know it's pretty dry the way the commission went through, and but congratulations and good luck. And school starts tomorrow. And Veterans Day is tomorrow. I'd like to thank all those that served. And I always think of the Purple Heart flag that's over there. When we became a Purple Heart community, the guy from the state Purple Heart group said that Gladstone has per capita more Purple Heart veterans than any community in Michigan.
Really?
So I always thought that was,
Wow.
That's a community that serves our country. I was always proud of that. So that's all I have.
Thanks, Eric. City Commissioner Committee reports, Board of Commissioner reports. City Commissioner comments?
None for me.
I just also like to echo thank our veterans tomorrow, and I hope they can enjoy the day and reflect on everyone can the service that they've given. So thank you.
I would say the same thing. Welcome our veterans and hope they enjoy the day. And once again, thanks to Rob, the interim city manager.
I'd like to echo the veterans' accolades, and like to tell everybody, watch out. We're getting snow now, so I imagine winter parking, has that kicked in yet?
November 1st.
I know I abused it last night. I was parked on the street. It caught me way off guard. So watch for snow and be careful out there driving. City clerk comments? Oh, then we're adjourned.
I just remembered that I added the
Building permits?
Well,
the
yes.
building permits that we get from the county. It goes to Janice, and Janice sends it to me. I just add the last 3 pages of the permits, which are Gladstone. So 7 new homes, 4 garages, 1 addition, and 2 commercial alterations additions. So that's a pretty good building year.
All righty.
Yeah, that's great. All right, we're adjourned.